Enfin voilà, donc on va faire résumé parce que on va faire un résumé de Kingdom Hearts 1 parce que là pour l'instant j'en peux plus. Je me spoil la fin et on passera au jeu suivant. C'est ce qu'on va faire. Je vais faire une pause de 20 minutes. Je vais regarder une vidéo qui va me spoil le lore de Kingdom Hearts 1 et on va passer à la suite. Quoi qu'on va faire mieux, je vais me spoil Kingdom Hearts 1 et Rechain of Memories parce que j'ai pas envie de souffrir. On va commencer Kingdom Hearts 2. J'ai limite envie de faire un react d'une vidéo qui explique le lore jusqu'à Kingdom Hearts 2. Histoire que ce soit bon pour tout le monde et qu'on soit sur le même point et qu'on commence Kingdom Hearts 2. Parce que je veux commencer à apprécier cette série, j'en ai marre. C'est bon? On est bon là? C'est la merde. Je suis désolé. Mais pour faire un point, parce que j'aime bien faire une critique quand même qui est constructive. Ok, donc on va être très constructif avec Kingdom Hearts, c'est nul. C'est nul. Ok, c'est nul, c'est à chier. Voilà. Un react de toutes les cinématiques. Non, je vais me faire strike. Je peux faire un react d'un gars qui fait une explication de vidéo dans laquelle il n'y a pas de matériel copyright. Comme ça fait au moins un truc de Kingdom Hearts sur lequel je me fais pas strike. Ah, le bonheur, hein, le bonheur, le bonheur. Mais c'est ce qu'on va faire, hein. Je vais vraiment préparer une scène. On va vraiment se mettre un recap. On va se regarder ça et on va se lancer Kingdom Hearts 2 et puis c'est tout. Parce que, parce que voilà, puisque KH c'est caca et que j'ai pas envie de me torturer plus et que je n'irai pas plus loin dans le jeu. Donc voilà, donc on va prendre cet écran-là. Ou peut-être pas. Non, on va prendre cet écran-là. Je vais le dupliquer. On fait ça en live, hein. J'ai marqué React. Voilà. Et ensuite, je prends mon gameplay, je le tâche à la poubelle. YouTube.com. Voilà. Appliquer. Voilà. Ça a l'air bien. Bon alors, comment je fais ça? Je vais me décaler ça ici. On va ajouter une capture de fenêtre. Je pense que la capture de fenêtre, ce sera bon. Ok, non, donc je ne peux pas rajouter de capture de fenêtre. On va supprimer. Ciao, ciao. On va ajouter une capture d'écran. Ok, voilà. On va la mettre là. Ensuite, il faut juste que je la déplace un peu. Attends, je viens de réaliser un truc. Voilà. Voilà, ce sera très bien comme ça. On va la descendre jusque là. Voilà, clean. Alors, qu'est-ce qu'on se fait? On se fait Ça, comme ça va faire tous les jeux. Ouais. Par contre, est-ce que vous avez le son? Non, donc je vais mettre le son du bureau. Ah oui, ça. Merde. Je voyais la souris sur mon retour. Bon, on se tape des pubs, c'est pas grave. Donc on va s'ajouter. Capture audio sortie. Ou annuler. Ajouter. Capture audio de l'application. Qu'est-ce que c'est que ça? Non, ça ne marche pas. Ok, on va la supprimer. Donc on va bien rajouter la capture audio, hop, normal, voilà, hop. Ok, ok, ça passe en bas. Je vais y coller les mêmes filtres que ça. Alors, bougez pas. Oui. Gameplay. Copier les filtres. Et il est à combien? Moins 2,1. On va faire la même chose ici. Tu es où toi? Là. Coller les filtres. Et moins 2,1. Parfait. Alors, Randé, tu es toujours avec moi? J'espère.
Bien vaut votre voiture.
Est-ce que le son est bon?
Vous pouvez trouver facilement et rapidement en ligne. Saisissez simplement les détails de votre véhicule et recevez le.
Tu me dis si le son est bon?
C'est une estimation. Et après une simple vérification dans une de nos agences, vous pouvez nous vendre votre voiture.
Ok, je vais mettre full screen.
Obtenez un prix maintenant sur vendezvotrevoiture.fr.
Ah merde, je pouvais skip. Bon, on aime les pubs, hein. Voilà, Coca-Cola, buvez du Coca, c'est bon pour la santé. Est-ce qu'il y a des sous-titres? Français. Voilà. Allez, c'est parti.
PlayStation 2, Kingdom Hearts is an action RPG that stands as the first installment for what would be an intentionally comprehensive and potentially confusing story in a universe that merges worlds born from Disney and Squaresoft. So let's recap. The game begins with 14-year-old Sora as he emerges from a curious dream that questions the priorities in his heart and pits him against incarnations of the darkness within himself. Waking from that, Sora, along with his best friends Kairi and Riku, are building a raft to satisfy their thirst for exploration outside of their home, the Destiny Islands. Sora and Riku's rivalry extends not only to races and duels, but also with their mutual relationship to Kairi. When Riku finds a Paopu fruit, Sora is made aware of the legends surrounding it. If you share it with someone you really care for, the two of you are bound together for all eternity. Naturally, this places additional tension on the friendship between Sora and Riku, as Sora now thinks a little bit harder on what Kairi means to him. Soon after, Sora is met by a brown-robed figure who warns of the connection to this world, soon vanishing next to a mysterious door in a cave that seems to serve no purpose. That night, there is a terrible storm, and as Sora runs out to secure the raft he and his friends built, he finds Riku standing below a dark portal that is devouring their.
Petite pause. J'aime bien comme le récap, c'est tellement la galère pour le gars qu'il est juste en train d'expliquer ce qui se casse, ce qui se passe parce que parce qu'il peut pas expliquer.
As the darkness begins to overtake both of them, Riku accepts the embrace while Sora resists. In his struggle, Sora materializes a unique weapon called the Keyblade in his hand, and with it can dispel the darkness. As he beats away the darkness in an attempt to find Kairi, he finds an image of her in the same cave before the mysterious door. The door flings open, sending Kairi's heart with Sora as he's flung away from this crumbling world. At the same time, in Disney Castle, Donald and Goofy receive word that King Mickey has left suddenly to investigate the rapid disappearance of stars in the sky and their respective worlds. Mickey sends the duo on a mission to seek the wielder of the key, who is apparently the key to their survival. As they leave to find the key bearer, they are joined by Jiminy Cricket, a refugee from his world that was consumed by darkness, and Pluto the dog. As guardians to ensure order between worlds, the group sets out to travel between them by means of interplanetary gummy ship. Their first stop is Traverse Town, in which they seek Leon, whom they are told can point them in the right direction. Setting down, they note the disappearance of another world, and not too far from that, Sora is flung to Traverse Town. In Traverse Town, Sora notes how these creatures of darkness are created. When he
Je vais retirer les sous-titres, c'est
he
ridicule.
explains that the Keyblade is the only thing that can drive back the sudden outpouring of the creatures of darkness called Heartless. As there is darkness in everyone's heart, when a heart is consumed by darkness, it becomes a heartless monster. And the stronger the heart, the stronger the monster. Donald and Goofy find Aerith, who explains that it is a man called Ansem who has opened the doors connecting the world and thus allowing the Heartless to begin drowning all of the worlds in darkness one by one. Simultaneously, Riku finds himself on a foreign world where he's encountered by the witch Maleficent. Sora, Donald, and Goofy bump into each other and team up against the Heartless. Donald and Goofy realize the Keyblade is the key they should be looking for and need to stick with him per their orders. However, Sora is more interested in finding Kairi and Riku, so Donald and Goofy offer to travel with him in their ship as they too need to now find King Mickey. Unbeknownst to them, their union is being spied upon by a union of villains now able to conspire with each other: Maleficent, Hades, Jafar, Ursula, Captain Hook, and Oogie Boogie. As the trio of heroes blast off, they search a few nearby worlds first encountering Alice in Wonderland and helping that world out with a Heartless invasion. They find that each world has a keyhole to the doors Ansem and his Heartless were using. Finding that the Keyblade can literally function as a key to lock the world away once the Heartless has been stemmed, the trio now moves to push the Heartless out of additional worlds en route to the search for their friends. Crash landing their gummy ship in the jungle, Sora finds himself separated from the team and must team up with Tarzan to not only find his allies, but also...
Il y avait une artiste Twitch qui avait like mon récent tweet, je me suis dit cool, elle doit faire des emotes ou des overlays, je vais voir son travail. Son travail sur les overlays sont quali, pareil sur les logos des streamers, mais les emotes, bordel, j'ai peur de ces prix, ça doit être plus cher que moi. Et pourtant, je fais en sorte que les emotes soient identifiables quand elles sont en taille d'emote. Ouais, mais il y en a plein des artistes emotes, en fait, ils font pas attention au fait que les emotes c'est petit.
Explores the local clock tower to seal Traverse Town's keyhole, where he begins to now have visions of Kairi. This is interrupted by an encounter with Merlin the Magician, who, with the fairy godmother, set up shop in Traverse Town per request of their king to teach Sora magic.
Ok, donc jusque là on a fait les choses dans l'ordre.
Practical casting, while the fairy godmother teaches Sora how to summon additional allies, such as Simba, Bambi, Genie, Dumbo, Tinkerbell, and Mushu. In addition, Sora finds a magical book that allows him to play with Pooh and friends in the 100-acre woods.
Fais-moi voir ça.
Elsewhere in Traverse Town, Sora unexpectedly reunites with Riku, who explains he is also searching for Kairi and is also apparently able to hold on to a...
Ah mais oui, mais ouais, mais non, mais...
rejects the notion of Riku traveling along, which distracts them long enough for Riku to slip away and return to Maleficent, who is slowly leading Riku astray to darkness. Staying on target, Sora locates the town keyhole, locks it, then blasts off to the next world. In Agrabah, Sora teams up with Aladdin to defeat close the keyhole, but behind his back he's not aware Riku is aiding Maleficent to steal Jasmine away in return for securing Kairi. Next, they visit Hercules in the Colosseum and find themselves in a plot devised by Hades. Hades convinces mercenary Cloud to kill Sora during the tournament games on his way to kill Hercules. However, when the team Sora beats Cloud, Hades lets loose a Cerberus to deal with both of them. Hercules comes in to lend a hand, and together the threat is handled. And after handling multiple underworld threats such as the Earth Titan, Ice Titan, and even Sephiroth, Sora proves the power of friendship after a battle with Hercules to reveal the keyhole and seal that world. Cloud, meanwhile, finally got to have his long-awaited duel with Sephiroth. Next, the group encounters the wandering Monstro the Whale, also scattered like Jiminy was, and find themselves...
D'accord, donc cette partie on l'a pas vue encore.
Instead, they find Geppetto and Pinocchio also attempting to leave Monstro's insides, but Pinocchio gets lost and encounters Riku. Catching up, Riku questions Sora's dedication to finding Kairi at all, but their chat is interrupted as Pinocchio is caught by a giant Heartless inside of Monstro. After the fight, Riku steals away Pinocchio and lets slip that he's looking to replace the heart of someone who lost theirs, and Sora figures he must be talking about Kairi. Riku surrenders Pinocchio and asks Sora to join forces with him, but Sora refuses as Riku is using too much darkness to achieve his goals. They are interrupted once again by a giant Heartless, and this time Riku withdraws to Kairi, who is found comatose in Neverland. Maleficent confirms Kairi's heart is gone and is but an empty vessel until it is filled. She informs him that there are 7 princesses of heart, and upon being gathered together, will open the heart of all worlds, containing a way that can restore her heart. Riku complies, and Maleficent imbues Riku with enough dark energy to now control Heartless on his own. At the same time, Monster coughs out the gummy ship with the trio inside, and they travel next to Halloween Town, where they team up
Ouais, mais
with
encore une
Jazz
fois,
and
c'est trop
Tim
petit,
King
quoi.
Oogie Boogie, even after Oogie Boogie powers himself up with concentrated darkness. After sealing the keyhole and leaving, the next stop is the underwater world Atlantica. Donald uses some magic to give them all aquatic forms, and the trio teams up with Ariel to locate this
Bon,
world.
ça c'est là où on en est.
King Triton opposes
Donc à partir de là, on va écouter.
outside world. After Ariel is tricked by Ursula, she fights alongside Sora to defeat Ursula and her sorcery. As thanks, King Triton now allows Sora to seal the keyhole. The next trip to space has the heroes running into Captain Hook's pirate ship in Neverland. Sora is greeted by Riku, who expresses his disappointment in Sora's priorities regarding Kairi. He reveals it was his own strong heart, which is now capable of commanding darkness, that enabled him to reach his own goals, and to demonstrate, conjures a dark copy of Sora. Captured, Sora and his friends meet up with Peter Pan, who states he'll cooperate with Sora with his rescue, as he too is here to rescue Wendy. With a little sprinkle of pixie dust, Sora and his crew can now fly, and break into the captain's cabin after Riku intends to leave with Kairi. Wendy is found to not be one of the 7 princesses of heart, so Riku slips away as Sora duels Anti-Sora, and soon after Captain Hook. Sealing the keyhole to Neverland, Sora learns Maleficent is hiding in a world called Hollow Bastion. However, the gummy ship needs a new overhaul in order to reach there, so he returns to Traverse Town. In the downtime, Sora seals the keyhole for the 100 Acres Wood with Pooh after some introspection about friendship, adventure, and courage. Sora reflects on Riku's words about him, and he begins to doubt his own integrity and conviction with his friends. At this time, he receives a strange vision from Kairi's private past, which she hears a tale that talks more about the ability for a light to still shine even in the deepest darkness. Meanwhile, Riku and Maleficent are visited by Beast, whose sheer force of will was enough to travel between worlds, similar to Monstro. Riku deals with Beast easily enough after opening his heart to even more dark power, and Sora steps in as soon as Beast takes a fall. Riku proclaims Sora's faltering heart unworthy of the Keyblade, and successfully summons it from Sora's hands. Donald recalls the mission to stick to the key, regardless of its bearer, so apologetically, he and Goofy leave with Riku. Down but not out, Beast gets up and expresses his fighting resolution, and Sora follows behind as he realizes he too must show more strength of heart. Within, the 7 princesses of heart are gathered: Jasmine, Cinderella, Aurora, Snow White, Alice, Belle, and Kairi. Though Maleficent has succeeded in gathering all 7 princesses, she finds only 6 of the 7 princesses have their hearts, so the keyhole to Kingdom Hearts cannot be revealed. On the way, Riku intercepts Sora, who has regained his confidence in himself. Riku denies him, but after Donald and Goofy remind Sora of his confidence in his friends, his strength of heart recalls his Keyblade, leaving Riku with his own Blade of Darkness. Sora's true strength of heart forces away Riku, who questions his own power now. At this time, the brown-robed figure from Destiny Islands reappears before Riku and invites him to overwhelm Sora with darkness merely by opening his heart completely to the darkness. Riku complies and finds himself possessed by the new figure. The possessed Riku uses the power of the 6 princesses' heart to forge a unique Keyblade that has the power to completely open the hearts of people. However, both he and Maleficent find themselves stuck without the 7th heart, and so Maleficent seeks to deal with Sora herself. She finds herself soon overwhelmed by Sora, and Riku offers her a hand in the battle. He demonstrates the ability of the Keyblade by plunging it into Maleficent and unlocking her heart completely. Filling it with pure darkness, Maleficent adopts a fierce dragon form, but this too is dealt with by Sora and friends. After her defeat, possessed Riku reveals that she and the other villains were all being used by the Heartless the whole time. Ignoring him and rushing to Kairi, Riku continues to explain nothing can be done until Kairi's heart is returned, as she is the 7th princess. Caught in the confusion, Sora is surprised to hear Riku exclaim her heart resides in Sora himself, to which her heart beats in affirmation. He moves to unlock Sora's heart and release Kairi's, but Sora will not allow it. Sora clashes with the possessed Riku, triumphs, but is unable to seal the final keyhole as it still remains incomplete. Turning to Kairi, Sora knows now to release his own heart in order to also release Kairi's, and to do so means turning the tip of the possessed Riku's Keyblade to himself. Successful in his theory, Sora sacrifices himself, and in doing so releases the hearts of Kairi, which disperses the unique Keyblade and returns it to the 6 original hearts. The hearts return to their owners, and Kairi awakens only just in time to see Sora disappear. With all 7 hearts in place, the final keyhole is revealed, and now possessed Riku shows his true hand. Adopting his real form, the brown-robed figure was Ansem, ruler of Heartless and seeker of darkness. He makes an approach to Kairi, but is stopped by Riku's force of will within his own body. This gives Kairi, Donald, and Goofy enough time to flee and be noted by unique Heartless. This Heartless was the one created by Sora as his heart was opened and taken by the darkness. Still sentient with memories, Sora, the Heartless, follows the group when Kairi realizes that's actually Sora as a Heartless. With her pure light, she manages to guide Sora out of the darkness and bring back his original body per memory. Reunited, the group retreated back to Traverse Town with Beast securing their escape. As the team plans on what to do about Ansem, Sora confesses to Kairi the connection of his heart to hers, but tells her he must now rescue Riku from the darkness. Understanding, she loans him her good luck charm, and they form a promise to always stay together. Meanwhile, Riku struggles to maintain himself within the deep darkness, but he soon hears a new guiding voice who lets him know to hold on, and know that 2 hearts and 2 Keyblades are needed to lock the final door. Now bolstered, Sora and crew rush to Hollow Bastion, where he finds the 6 princesses stemming the flood of darkness now pouring out of the keyhole. Further in, he bumps into a black-robed figure, now who pauses and recognizes Sora. Promptly attacking him, the figure tells Sora he is an incomplete, despite his power, and soon takes leave, merely noting to himself that he is a hollow shell, but will be keeping an eye on Sora. Leon and his friends catch up to Sora, and as Sora closes the giant keyhole, Leon explains Hollow Bastion was the world he and his friends originally came from. However, Sora's work is not done yet. Not only does he seek Riku and King Mickey, but the only way to restore all the worlds consumed by the Heartless will be to defeat Ansem, for he kept all of that darkness within him. Traveling now to a world named the End of the World, Sora finds this as a cluster of fragments of all the consumed worlds. Fighting past the strongest of Heartless and even the demon of Bald Mountain, Sora finally finds Ansem, still possessing Riku, standing on the edge of a broken Destiny Island. The final fight is on as Sora battles Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, through rising forms of darkness. Finally, Ansem calls upon the darkness game from the hearts of all worlds, and upon besting that, Ansem is finally beaten down. Reaching out to open the door to Kingdom Hearts, Ansem believes the outpouring of darkness will revive him, but Sora confidently believes that Kingdom Hearts is actually filled with light. This light banishes Ansem from Riku, and before that immense power can be escaped, Sora and friends hurry to close the door and lock it. Unable to do so by themselves, they find themselves aided by Riku and King Mickey on the opposite side of the door, with King Mickey wielding the needed Keyblade to lock the door on his side. Locking the door for good, the worlds begin to right themselves, and Sora makes sure Kairi is safe on the Destiny Island's restoration as he promises to return to her as soon as he finds Riku. The worlds are all restored back to their original form, and the doors between them are now sealed. However, the fates of Riku and King Mickey are still not resolved, not to mention a few other loose ends, such as looking for the door to the light that will lead them back to their lost friends. Regardless, on their way on the open road, they are stopped by Pluto, who holds in his mouth a letter with King Mickey's seal on it. Leading them on, the trio now rushes into a new adventure. Kingdom Hearts concludes with a mysterious trailer that sets up the next game in the story, 358 over 2 days, and has enjoyed the success of selling over 6 million copies worldwide.
Ok. Donc ça, c'est Kingdom Hearts 1. Maintenant, on va faire Chain of Memories.
L'air d'ameur, un goût délicieux, c'est unique, tout simplement.
Je vous ai dit, on va skipper ces 2 jeux parce que ça me pète le cul, on va direct commencer par le 2.
sait que les vêtements de bébé sont comme une seconde peau. Notre nouvelle formule est sans ingrédients nocifs.
Voilà, pensez à la lessive le chat, c'est très important. Hein.
Pour une propreté impeccable qui respecte leur peau, nouveau le chat bébé.
Le chat. composé de vrais jus de chat.
Enix in 2004 for the Game Boy Advance and re-released later in 3D in 2008 for the PlayStation 2, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories takes place directly after Kingdom Hearts, ends right before Kingdom Hearts 2, and runs concurrently with 358 over 2 days. It's an action RPG with an unorthodox battling system based on card decks, and world traversal based on sequential rooms the player engineers before entering. The real story of the game is told through the interactions between worlds among the two campaigns, starting with Sora and then Riku. So let's cut this story down to size with a recapitation. Riku is still adrift in the realm of darkness, after closing the door to darkness at the end of Kingdom Hearts when a voice urges him to embrace the eternal sleep of darkness. Riku refuses, and a burst of light brings forth a card that the voice explains will bring him to the truth at the cost of great pain. Riku confidently accepts and is transported to the basement of Castle Oblivion. Facing his own run-through memories, Riku finds the voice belongs to Ansem, the portion of which still residing in his own heart left over from Riku's dark possession. Ansem urges Riku to come to the darkness again, to which Riku rejects the offer of power. Mickey's light interrupts their chat and tells Riku he'll be there to help Riku fight the darkness. Riku now sets off not only to find the truth Ansem spoke of, but do so while not falling into the darkness himself. Ansem bides his time, but not before stirring the dark potential again in Riku's heart. Meanwhile, Riku's entrance is noted by Organization 13 members Zexion, Lexius, and Vexen. However, they mistake his presence for that of Ansem within him, which intrigues Vexen immensely. Progressing on, Mickey sends word to Riku that he is on his way. In the meanwhile, after chasing Pluto on the open road, Sora is visited by a man in a black coat who tells Sora that something important is up ahead, but in order to claim it, he must lose something important. The crew soon finds themselves before the doors of a large castle, and intuition seems to tell the group they'll find King Mickey and Riku inside, though Jiminy knows it's awfully suspicious they all have the same inkling at the same time. Shutting the door behind them, the previous man in a black coat approaches slowly, to which Donald attempts to fire off a warning shot with magic, however finds he's unable to cast anything. The man explains this is because the moment the trio entered the castle, they forgot every spell and ability they ever learned. He introduces this location as Castle Oblivion, where to lose is to gain and to gain is to lose, and states that here, memories take real form. To demonstrate, he scans Sora's memories and hands him a card of Traverse Town. Sora applies the reconstructed memory and finds that while things are as he remembered it, the people and places are different based on how he remembers it. For instance, people he's met before do not recognize this as a memory, and some do not remember him at all. At this time, Zexion figures out it's truly Riku in the castle, noting that he somehow escaped the realm of darkness through a surge of dark power. Vexen also tells him Sora is now in the castle and is already being meddled with, to which he points out is not per plan. Still, he says Sora's value is second to Riku, and begins an experiment to verify this. He intercepts Riku and explains to Riku that he and the Nobodies are unique, in which they stand in the twilight between light and dark. Riku refuses to go along with his dark plan, and during the fight, Vexen makes a quick exit, thanking Riku for all the battle data he got, and mentions he saw great potential in Riku's dark power. Progressing past another floor, the man in black begins to talk to Sora, but is interrupted by Axel, who states he wants to test Sora now. After a battle, he leaves Sora a set of cards and tells him to move up through the castle's floors in order to find the person most important to Sora. He urges Sora to dig deep in his memories to remember who, and then leaves. Jiminy notes it's awfully suspicious that Axel stresses that once Sora remembers, he won't be the same person, and advises caution. Moving on to the next floor, Goofy struggles to recall the last large castle they were in, but knows it was important as it was where Sora turned into a Heartless. Even Sora struggles to remember the event, so they consult Jiminy in his journal, as he recorded all events thus far. Jiminy opens his journal for the last adventure and is shocked to see all pages blank. He also soon deciphers that all of them are steadily losing their memories and wonders how far it will go. Goofy optimistically affirms that if nothing else, they won't lose their most important memories, like their best friends, citing examples of how Sora didn't lose his memories even as a Heartless. Moving up through the floors, Sora and crew revisits old worlds such as Wonderland, Olympus Coliseum, Agrabah, Monstro, Atlantica, Halloween Town, Neverland, 100 Acre Wood, and Hollow Bastion. Back with Zexion, he notes that Marluxia's tampering with Sora leaves him suspicious of another plot. Lexius foresees conflict between Vexen's interests and Marluxia's interests within all this, and Zexion states Vexen's experiment is nearly complete. Meanwhile, Axel speaks with another organization member, Larxene, and notes something interesting about Sora.
Vous avez vu, je réact
The
bien. Hein.
only other person to retain his memories as a Heartless besides Ansem. Speaking of memories, Sora takes out a memento of Kairi to jog his memories of her, but now he begins to see a new girl. This is because the girl in question, Namine, is now beginning to insert herself into Sora's memories slowly and subtly. As Sora begins to recall more things about Namine, Jiminy states it's awfully suspicious how everyone is losing memories, but Sora is the only
En
one
vrai,
retaining any memories.
j'avais oublié que je pouvais mettre pause. J'essaie de me concentrer un max pour essayer d'avoir le scénar pour vraiment commencer le 2 et comprendre. Mais c'est dense. C'est dense. J'arrive pas à comprendre comment un scénario aussi dense peut être aussi, autant distillé dans un jeu en fait. C'est ça, il se passe trop de trucs. Comment il peut se passer autant de trucs, mais quand t'es in-game, t'es là, t'as rien. T'as rien. C'est dinguerie. C'est dinguerie. Comment, quand tu condenses l'histoire de Kingdom Hearts, ça peut être aussi dense, tu vois. Et quand tu le mets à l'échelle du jeu, c'est juste goutte à goutte. Comment c'est possible? Non, c'est pas ça que je vais faire, c'est ça.
Memories, particularly memories of people he never mentioned before. Donald and Goofy don't think much of it, and it's concluded that perhaps the memory was buried so deep that the only way to remember it again was by forgetting other things. Vexen finishes and unleashes his new replica experiment. As he figured, memories are a separate but equal source of power apart from the heart in an individual. In Castle Oblivion, memories are strong enough to be made real, and as evidence, both Sora and Riku are able to manifest whole worlds, former powers, and even Keyblades based on memories made real in the castle. Following that thought process, Vexen theorized if the bearers of the memories can be made manifest through memories, and from the data gained from his battle with Riku, Vexen constructed a Riku replica equal in dark power and heart.
J'ai pas le son assez fort pour les entendre.
Riku was surprised to see a double, of course, and the replica states that although they are initially equal, he has no fear and unlimited use of the darkness like Riku does. Determined to prove his superiority, he clashes with the real Riku, who edges out a win without using darkness himself. Withdrawing back to Vexen, Vexen considers sending the replica out to deal now with Sora. Soon, Larxene steps in to toy with Sora, as he is the key to the plan for taking over the organization, to which Larxene admits she is a part of. Larxene plays with Sora's head and begins to taunt Sora closer to an epiphany. She begins by drawing attention to Sora's charm, which is now a star. Sora finds the name Namine within himself, and Larxene pushes Sora just enough for him to defiantly defend his newfound memories of Namine. After a fight, she taunts him more while leaving, causing Sora to become irrationally upset at the topic of Namine. Meanwhile, Vexen comes in wishing to test his replica Riku against Sora, as he is yet unconvinced Sora is worth the organization's time and effort. Larxene adds that it would be best to have Namine give the replica all the same memories as the Riku by rewriting his heart, to not only pass as a convincing double, but also give him a power. The replica defies this order, but Larxene forces it regardless. When Replica Riku intercepts Sora, Sora of course thinks at long last he found Riku. Riku dismisses Sora's surprise and scoffs at his attempt to find him, as now it's plain that Sora is more preoccupied with finding Namine and never really cared about Riku. He conveys that Namine is upset at Sora, and the answer lies in a memory Sora has yet to remember, much to his disgust. Adopting his darkness form, Replica Riku attacks Sora, to which Sora reluctantly defends. When Riku retreats and tells Sora to back off, Sora tries to understand the apparent change in Riku. The group conjectures that Castle Oblivion must have scrambled Riku's memories, so he forgot their friendship, and with that in mind, they move ahead. Back with the organization, the man in the black coat is revealed to be Marluxia, who states that any attempts to destroy Sora are punishable by death. Marluxia then tells the captured Namine that it's time to push Sora's memories completely off the deep end by removing Kairi from his memories now. Back with Sora, Jiminy warns that they have lost too much and may want to consider turning back, but Sora conveniently remembers a childhood promise to Namine which warranted the keepsake. Vexen comes in and explains Sora should thank him for helping him find Riku, and Sora attacks Vexen on grounds of messing up Riku's memories. Upon retreating, Vexen leaves Sora with a card to Twilight Town, which he states contains memories of the other side of his heart. At the same time, unknown to Vexen, Marluxia has ordered Axel to kill him. Lexaeus now confronts Riku, who asks only once for Riku to open his heart completely to darkness. Riku refuses, but finds he cannot really best Lexaeus on his own power. Pushed to the limit, Riku succumbs to using the darkness within himself. Riku finds that tapping into the darkness that Ansem stirred within him gives him the same magnitude of power as Ansem himself, but also plunges his heart back into darkness. While he defeats Lexaeus easily, he is only able to resist Ansem's attempt on his heart once more by help of King Mickey's interference again. In Twilight Town, Sora states that this place is not based on any of his memories, but perhaps based on an idea that he was here, though he swears he himself has never actually been there. Vexen ambushes Sora, but is surprised to find himself losing against Sora's heart, even with the loss of Sora's true memories. As Vexen begins to spill everything about the nobodies of Marluxia's plot, Axel swoops in to assassinate Vexen. Moving on, Sora encounters the replica Riku, and the two find that they are sharing the same private memory of the promise with Naminé, which causes a paradox. After another fight, Riku retreats and Sora's friends begin to question Sora's bizarre behavior and contradictory memories. Angry, Sora charges ahead alone into a false Destiny Islands memory, and at the same time, Axel intentionally lets Naminé free to disturb Marluxia's plan and help Sora. In the memory, the real Naminé disturbs her fake scene with Sora so as to stop him from moving his heart completely into Marluxia's plan. As Naminé asks Sora's heart who matters most to him, his heart answers more honestly than his memories do, which snaps him to the reality that none of this is real. As she starts to explain, the replica Riku steps in, and Sora is saved by Naminé's powers. However, Larxene now enters the scene and reveals that this Riku has always been a fake meant to mess with Sora, and exposes that Naminé has done nothing but strip Sora's real memories and fill them with bogus ones. As she encroaches on Sora, Naminé tries to protect Sora, but she is batted aside. Sora declares that even if his memories are fake, that his feelings to protect Naminé are real. Donald and Goofy reunite with Sora just in time for the three of them to destroy Larxene once and for all. In the moment of peace, Naminé explains Marluxia's plot and Sora still declares his intent to protect her, to which Donald jabs that he always tries to look cool in front of the ladies. At this time, Axel reveals to Marluxia that he is a double agent, and for his betrayal to the organization, Marluxia must be destroyed. Marluxia summons Naminé as a shield, to which Axel says won't make a difference, and that comes just a bit too late as soon as Sora bursts in. Axel reluctantly fights Sora, stating that they both have more in common than he knows, and retreats after the fight. Traveling to Zexion, Axel asks about Riku's status, and Zexion replies that the original plan was to use Riku to dispose of the traitors. However, as Sora is hot on the trail of Marluxia, Riku is now just a very dangerous nuisance to them in the castle. In the room beyond, Replica Riku teams up with Sora to defeat the illusion of Marluxia, and not stopping there, Sora and friends advance to the final confrontation to end Marluxia and his twisted scheme. The shockwave of his defeat is felt even in the basement where Riku is. And to answer his question about the source, Zexion appears before Riku and informs him Sora just felled Marluxia. Riku is amazed to hear Sora is also in Castle Oblivion, and Zexion offers to reunite them, but warns Riku that Sora represents and uses light that is meant to destroy all darkness, darkness that Riku now represents and uses. Zexion now hands Riku a world card that unfolds to a Destiny Island that he says will be painful truth to Riku. As Riku explores in, he finds Sora, who turns his Keyblade to Riku, upset at his friend's descent into darkness. Riku puts up a poor retaliation and now finds himself drowning in light. In the light, he sees a vision of Kairi, who explains Riku can and should use the deep darkness within himself to guide himself out of the light, as his darkness is his own, and no one and no fear can control him. Riku understands now that he can now escape the deepest darkness and see through the brightest light. Now accepting his unique path, he beats away Zexion easily. After the battle with Marluxia, Sora tells the replica Riku that his feelings and memories are real to him, and the replica Riku walks away, admitting that Sora is a good guy after all. Next, Naminé explains that their memories are not lost, just unlinked from each other, like a chain. Jiminy asks if their memories in Castle Oblivion must go before they get back their original memories, and Naminé confirms this. After thinking about it, Sora asks to make himself like he was before, which Naminé dishearteningly agrees to. She leads Sora and her friends to a chamber in which they can sleep while she reconstructs their scattered chains of memories, and Sora brighteningly tells her that they won't forget to thank her even if they forget her now. After all, their next meeting will be for real, and then they can forge a true friendship. As the doors to the chamber close, Sora looks to his memento charm and recalls now his forgotten friends and promise to Kairi before drifting into a deep sleep. Axel reunites with the wayward Riku replica, and once a wounded Zexion comes back, they are waiting. Wanting to embrace his own identity by destroying the original, the replica absorbs Zexion into himself and moves to hunt the real Riku. Riku, meanwhile, finds his last step into darkness gives Ansem yet another chance to seize his heart, but Mickey steps in to stop it again, but this time in person. Mickey hands Riku the card that led him to Castle Oblivion, and Riku uses that card to travel now to Twilight Town. An image of Ansem appears before him, but Riku detects it's not the real one. A character who calls himself Diz introduces himself to Riku and cryptically tells him he is to meet Naminé, then choose a path for himself before zipping away. In front of the mysterious mansion where Naminé resides, the replica Riku finds real Riku. They exchange words as the replica is frustrated at his borrowed phony existence, and after the clash, the real Riku wins out. After he bids farewell to his replica, he finds Naminé in the chamber asleep and recognizes her as the one who appeared as Kairi in his vision earlier. She explains Sora's situation and the choice he made for his memories, and now she asks Riku to choose a path regarding his heart. She has the power to seal away the memory of darkness in his heart, but Riku muses that he always chose a harder path, while Sora always did find a way to slack off. With support by Mickey and Diz, Riku chooses not to lock his heart away. Diz hands Riku and Mickey the same black coats the organization wears, which by wearing confers a few useful abilities. The first is preventing detection and making it very difficult to be tracked. The second is to protect them, as they can now use the realm of darkness, using it with the same dark corridors that the organization uses to get around. Riku now manifests Ansem into reality based on the memory in his heart and does battle with him on his own terms. After a clash of memories and hearts, Riku proves he can conquer the darkness in his own heart. Riku leaves Castle Oblivion with Mickey in order to train himself with the newfound road he now walks. As he passes on by Diz, he must now not only watch over Sora as he sleeps, but learn to master how to walk the thin line of twilight between light and dark. In the end, internal power struggles within Organization 13 has resulted in 5 of its 13 members destroyed, with Riku and Sora having been pawns in the power play and experiencing gains and losses of their own. Kingdom Hearts' Chain of Memories concludes with scenes of a boy named Roxas in Twilight Town, which foretells the intro to Kingdom Hearts 2. Kingdom Hearts' Chain of Memories has enjoyed the success of selling over 2 million copies worldwide.
Ça y est, on me entend? On me entend. J'avais coupé le micro du coup, parce que le son en double il venait de ma télé, c'est de là qui sortait le son pour moi. Donc j'entendais rien si je coupais. Alors, c'est quoi ce scénario? Ok, donc comme ça on va pouvoir reprendre du 2. Ah ouais, il y a Roxas aussi. Ça me fait penser à la vidéo. Attends, je vais la mettre. Je vais la mettre. Je sais plus si c'est le 1 ou le 2, je crois que c'est le 1. Ah yes, les pubs. Je vais baisser le son par contre.
Amour, j'ai cru discerner ton reflet, ta grâce a fragmenté ma réalité.
Ouais, bah ouais, adopter des animaux, tiens.
Chapitre 1. Moment se questionne. À la fin de la journée, tous les streamers étaient épuisés. AlphaCast venait de faire 12 heures de Beat Saber et il était complètement trempé de sueur. Le regard de Moment se posa sur le corps glabre de son ami streamer et ne put détacher son regard jusqu'à croiser les yeux de ce dernier. Il détourna son regard un peu honteux en se demandant pourquoi il ne l'avait pas fait avant. Zerator prit son mégaphone de merde et annonça:
Fin de journée, tout le monde coupe son stream. En plus, j'ai une grande annonce à vous faire.
Moment se sentit soulagé, car ça lui permit de penser à autre chose qu'à ce qu'il venait de penser avant. Après avoir coupé leurs streams respectifs, ils se retrouvèrent autour du Montpellierin à la voix suave. Césator.
De quoi tu voulais nous parler? J'étais direct de couper mon stream, j'étais en train de faire un top 1 sur PUBG.
Rire.
Ouais, c'est clair. Moi, j'ai même pas eu le temps de finir mon dessin.
Soupir.
Moi j'ai eu ma dose de Beat Saber pour la journée. J'ai d'ailleurs vu que Moment aimait beaucoup me voir suer toute la journée.
Mais n'importe quoi, c'est juste le hasard ça. J'étais trop occupé à gueuler China number one sur Sea of Thieves. Alors tu sais, hein, t'es parti de Beat Saber.
Rougissant de gêne. Moment ne ratait pourtant aucun stream d'AlphaCast sur Beat Saber, généralement en navigation privée. Mais il était encore trop tôt pour l'admettre, et même pour se l'admettre à lui-même.
Calmos, les amis.
Déclara Zerator pour reprendre les mots d'Antoine Griezmann lors de sa blackface.
Nous avons reçu une invitation.
Une invitation?
C'est Patrick Balkany qui nous invite à un dîner à la mairie de Levallois-Perret, dans les Hauts-de-Seine. Patrick Balkany?
Patrick Balkany. Voilà encore une recherche que Moment faisait souvent en navigation privée. Ça commençait à faire beaucoup de coïncidences.
Il nous a tous invités?
Alors ils veulent surtout voir Squeezie, la star de YouTube, Jius, MV, Nio, Joueur du Grenier, Magla, Trinity, Sardoche, AlphaCast, moi et toi à un moment.
Ne pouvant réprimer sa surprise et sa joie, son visage rougissant tel une tomate sous le soleil de la Provence française. Bien qu'apolitique, Moment avait toujours ressenti une espèce de fascination pour Patrick Balkany, le célèbre maire de Levallois-Perret et roi des roublards. Fascination qui pouvait parfois même tourner à l'obsession. Sa chambre étant recouverte à 80% de posters de Patrick Balkany, ainsi que quelques photos d'Édouard Balladur. Et un fanart de Cyril Ferraud, le présentateur sympathique de Slam sur la chaîne du service public France 3. Mais ça, c'était une autre histoire.
Allez, pas de temps à perdre, en route.
Même pas le temps de prendre une douche?
Ah non, pas de temps, je veux vous voir maintenant.
Moment se mit en route, heureux que son ami, maintes fois Grandmaster sur Overwatch, n'ait pas eu le temps de prendre une douche.
Antoine est un génie, je te jure. Mais Antoine est un putain de génie. Mais c'était pas ça là, c'est l'épisode 2 du coup.
Autant en emporte le The Event, chapitre 2, la mairie aux mille et un secrets. Arrivé à la mairie de Levallois-Perret, une des plus belles villes des Hauts-de-Seine, berceau de Webedia, nos amis streamers se font chaleureusement accueillir par un employé OSEF. En tout cas, c'est ce que pensait Mister MV, étant récemment devenu de droite suite à une interview chez Le Figaro.
Moi aussi, j'aime parler à mon électorat de droite.
Mais où est Patrick Balkany?
S'interroge un moment après s'être aspergé de 47 litres de parfum Giorgio Armani et de Deoax. Il s'était acheté, convaincu, après le visionnage d'une pub pour le célèbre déodorant avec Big Flo et Oli. Le maire de Levallois semblait être introuvable.
Bon, il est où la patoche? C'est pas tout ça, mais je dois aller m'occuper de Natsu, vous savez, mon adorable Shiba.
Oh, toi alors avec ton chien?
Rire.
Quoi? J'ai le droit d'aimer les animaux à la fin.
Il ne pouvait se retenir de rougir à chaque fois que Juice lui faisait une vanne bien sentie. Ça lui faisait plein de petits papillons dans le ventre.
Mais où est passé Alpha?
Son ami, commentateur de l'Overwatch League une fois sur 4, semblait introuvable lui aussi. D'abord Patrick Balkany et maintenant AlphaCast. Ça ne pouvait pas être une coïncidence.
Mais enfin, pourquoi tu t'inquiètes? Il m'a dit qu'il avait un besoin pressant d'aller aux toilettes quand nous venions d'arriver.
Rire titanesque. Où est le texte? Ah, c'est là. Le regard de Moment se posa sur les toilettes pour hommes de la mairie de Levallois-Perret. À peine avait-il eu le temps de se rendre compte que les poignées étaient en saumon fumé quand sortit Patrick Balkany.
Patrick Balkany? Mais quel plaisir de vous voir! Étant moi-même de droite, je peux vous dire que ça fait quelque chose.
Rire de droite. Moment se demanda s'il s'était passé quelque chose entre Patrick Balkany et AlphaCast dans les toilettes pour hommes de la mairie de Levallois-Perret, la célèbre ville du département 92.
Haha, je suis Patrick Balkany, maire de Levallois-Perret et roi des roublards.
Patrick Balkany?
Alors Patoche, on nous fait des cachotteries avec AlphaCast dans les toilettes?
Rire. Moment se mit à serrer du poing. Il ne comprenait pas encore la nature de ses sentiments. Mais étrangement, la petite plaisanterie de la streameuse en costume de sumo n'était pas bien passée chez lui. Patrick Balkany prit un air grave et déclara à toute la petite bande:
Suivez-moi dans mon bureau, j'ai quelque chose à vous montrer.
Ils se regardèrent tous, un peu interloqués. Squeezie pensait à son chien. Juice était italien.
Tout ça pour cette phrase. Hein. Juice était italien. Ouais, le ah ouais, il y a Roxas, ça me fait penser à ça, ça me fait. Ah, il y a Roxas, il y a Juice aussi. Enfin bon. Bon, du coup, l'histoire de Kingdom Hearts, on va voir si je l'ai bien compris. Dans le 1, c'est le bordel. dans le Chain of Memories, c'est encore plus le bordel. Voilà, c'est bon, j'ai bon. Est-ce que j'ai bon?